There's one more thing coming to mind when I share it like that, Ellen, maybe which is important for all of us also. Because there is not only the burning house of your friend, as you said, maybe your own house starts to burn, right? In the relation, in the situation, your own house starts to burn means your own feelings of frustration, desperation, helplessness, guilt, shame, anger, all of that might appear. So your own house is set on fire, and then you have already two houses to attend to, so to speak, and to. So this is very important to not lose oneself, neither being pulled in the apparent other reality of being a separate reality, but also not only not to be pulled in our own drama, but also not to allow, which is more common, I would say, allow ourselves to then go away from our own burning house by attending the other house, the other's house. It's very tempting to not want to feel what is happening in me through the suffering of the other, and then the old habit of the separate me, of the conditioned mind may appear and say, okay, I have to take care of this, I have to do this, to get away from my own pain, from my own suffering in the moment. So to stay home, so to speak, as you said, and not jump into the movie of my friend, but also not to jump into my character in the movie. And that is only what consciousness or loving awareness can do. I can see both on the screen, and by seeing I mean feeling, experiencing the suffering. The seeing includes always the feelings, the perceptions, all of the whole human experience is the seeing of the situation. So and the feelings, of course, or the thoughts can be very demanding, to pull me in, or in that case, very often, to allow me to get away from my own things that are possibly coming up in that. But when I stay home, when I come back to the non-dual understanding, to the experiential understanding, and I'm just the seeing. I am not the seen, so to speak, and I'm not the seer. I'm not this person who is watching, but the seer and the seen, or the observed and the observer, dissolve in this non-dual understanding, and there is just seeing, there's just awareness, which can hold space for my friend and myself, my apparent separate self, in the same time. And there is no one doing, no one observing, no one is just seeing, being, which is the same, is there. And then this apparent object of my friend, this my friend as an apparent object, becomes that mirror for me to get in touch with my own inner world, so to speak, and we can bring it all together home. And not by bringing it together, getting the truck and the trolley, but just by, and that is the magic, just by being home, by being the seeing, not being this or that, not being the seen and the seer. And the seeing, the being of the totality of the situation, as we mentioned so many times, allows me then to hold space for my friend and for myself. And there is the resolution of the apparent problems and the liberation of potential pockets of separation in me, in my subtle body. That you can, as you just described, observe that then sometimes when then this is doing something in my own system, so to speak, that there might be this tendency to get away from that by helping the other person, right? Yeah, but that's great. Exactly. You just stay home. This is what the mind is doing. The mind is going after things. It kind of jumps on the object. It jumps on the sound, on the feeling, on it kind of goes out. That's what I meant with these two ways. The mind, the conditioned mind always wants to know, it jumps and creates this subject-object relationship. It kind of splits itself in two. And then there is someone dealing with something. And there is suddenly a screen and a movie, and they're kind of real in themselves. But when you stay home, when you just stay the screen, then you let, and that is coming with deepening understanding, which is deepening so beautifully in you since I know you. And the objects come to you, the objects of the apparent person, other person, and the objects that are appearing in you, which are all appearing in you in reality, right? So you don't have to go anywhere, just as you're describing, you just stay. And the objects dissolve back into you. And in the dissolution, in the dissolving of the objects, apparently your objects and her objects and his objects and I don't know, Trump's objects and Putin's objects, and they all come home, and in that is the love, the peace. It's kind of amplifying by being brought home. In a way, this is the whole trick of this whole game. Can we just stay where we are instead of taking off into the movie and losing ourselves in the movie as the character? Allowing the objects to go out, to dance their dance, to play their roles. Person A, B, C, experience X, Y, Z. And then dinner time. It's getting dark outside. Come home. And peacefully. And the magic that is unfolding in this understanding, when we really stay firm in reality, in ourselves, in being. Naturally, that which might be a theory in scriptures or teachings becomes our own experience, that we're actually, in reality, that we're actually never leaving. We're never, ever actually leaving home. We're just dreaming ourselves into this beautiful play, and we're enjoying it, but we're always, always, always home, always safe. And we, I mean all of us, of course, because we are one. So we're in the world, but not of the world. Or we're in it and we're not in it, so to speak. This is where the brain tilts, as we know, but we understand in our hearts. And this is very important, maybe finally, also for you, Leslie, again. This expression of ourselves, expression of being, this extension of being, this dreamlike reality, the world, we people, all of it. We never leave the throne. It's just an imagined play, so to speak. It's not that God loses itself to become a world, so to speak. It doesn't really enter the world. We never enter the world as consciousness because there is no two. We always remain where we are while we're imagining, dreaming the multiplicity, the individuality of apparent separate things. But even in the tiniest thing, you see here in this fancy coffee cup from India, pretty, the essence, all of this coffee cup is still God, is still consciousness. It's not, it looks like and it feels like a coffee cup, but it isn't. It's not that God became a coffee cup, it's still God. So it's okay with its discussable image. It's not suffering because it never forgot what it is and it never left home. It's still home. And that's for everyone. When we believe that there is an actual kind of an actual separation of creation, that we stand out as actual real separate beings or things actually really stand out, and then we could have a problem.